This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
The theory of structural functionalism defines social institutions to be a collective whole necessary to fulfill the various needs of individuals and centers on how these institutions meet their social needs. Structural functionalism says that for societies to survive, they have to be stable and cohesive, which comes from solidarity. However, the conflict theory believes that society runs on competition rather than solidarity and social harmony. It views society to be full of inequalities, which creates change and conflicts among all. Structural functionalism emphasizes more on social order instead of social change, unlike conflict theory, which believes that fundamental changes and conflicts are unavoidable in a society. Structural functionalism believes that an individual is simply an occupant of his social role and is, thus, not significant as only themselves, but just because of their social roles and status. Thus, while structural functionalism believes that social inequality and oppression may be necessary for the stability, integration, and functioning of a society, the conflict theory holds exploitation by dominant groups to be the main reason for social problems. Although both these theories have dissimilar value orientations, they have the same perception of inequality, which is that the dominant groups profit from discrimination. Structural functionalism says that discrimination fits perfectly in a society since it yields positive results. Still, the conflict theory says that social changes are inevitable and will take place continuously and rapidly since the various social groups are striving to take each other's place in our societal hierarchy. Structural functionalism says that when a society becomes complex, differentiation occurs and integration occurs among the new institutions. Thus, even though changes occur, structures inside a society emerge to compensate for the change. These new integrated structures guarantee the smooth running of our society, and thus, it argues that the members are responsible for its stability and order. However, the conflict theory says that the probability of change is embedded in the basic structures and relations among the classes of our society. Therefore, when we reach a point where further growth of society is not possible, a crisis takes place, which transforms society. Consequently, change is a continuous process until it reaches a crisis point where transformation occurs. Structural functionalism intently focuses on the equilibrium of a society and says that it consists of mutually dependent parts working together to maintain that equilibrium. It also tries to describe our social institutions mainly by their effects and, thus, cannot explain the reasons for the effects. The conflict theory was developed to demonstrate the shortcomings of structural functionalism. While structural functionalism believes that society is inclined toward stability and equilibrium at the cost of social change, the conflict theory reasons that there is a constant conflict in society over resources, and thus, it can explain social change, unlike structural functionalism. Again, the perspective of conflict theory overlooks societal equilibrium. Although societies are constantly changing, the changes are often minimal, and thus, the basic elements of society remain pretty stable. This proves the significance of structural functionalism. Therefore, this is how both these theories fall short of being complete explanations. However, since sociological theories are complementary, we cannot say which one is better, and only when they are combined do we get a better understanding of society. If you want to find more works like this essay on structural functional versus social conflict theory, head over to ivypanda.com. It has a collection of free samples with thousands of submissions covering virtually all academic subjects. No registration required to access it.